Here you can see I've begun a chinampa, like China with an MPA at the end. There's the inlet as it is now. I filmed this yesterday when I did it, but I deleted it accidentally. I cast the muck to the left and to the right, and then broke through into the pond. And of course, at first the water ran into where I dug, but then it began to run back out. So these two chinampas began to drain, and I can actually walk here where I couldn't have before. And then I started another one over there, and the same thing happened. These floating milk jugs, there'll be more about them a little later in the summer. They're going to be kind of a plaything. So I'm going to start another one going through here, and I'm going to lay on the dry parts, the drying out parts. I'm going to lay these cuttings from willows that I made 2 months ago or more. Unhappily for me, there's some multiflora rose cuttings in among them too, and they jag me. But I'm going to lay them so that the dry parts are not just piled up muck, but they're piled up muck with some fiber among them. Oh, here comes Sally. She's got comments to make, no doubt. There, I've laid those cuttings on the areas that I'm going to dry out. And you might think, well, what's this have to do with a chinampa? Well, I'm going to work my way out into the pond, and if I can go far enough, I'll actually come to the point where I might have floating gardens. I don't know. I also brought with me, wish I'd brought gloves because I have multiflora rose, but I also brought pruning shears or loppers, and I'm going to cut my way through these alders to get access to that middle section. So we'll see how it goes. Oh, and there's the dinghy. I'll give you a hint about what I'm going to do with these milk cartons. Well, I'm standing knee deep or shin deep in this spot, but see my feet, they're not sinking in. I can walk out. And there's the first chinampa born. Here's the second one, and you can see I've begun to throw muck over those willow cuttings. I think that's going to work to stiffen them up. I don't know, it's interesting. Now I'm going to cut enough of the alders out right there in the middle to go through here. This is between the two with a third channel and cast it up on either side. In English, there just isn't the vocabulary yet that I know of to explain what I'm doing. Okay, having given birth to two chinampa channels, I'm now about ready to do a third. But having done two, I'm now a veteran of sorts. And the pruning that I did, I laid it, as I cut it, I laid it on the areas that I want to have above water level immediately. I didn't do that before because I hadn't thought it through that far. I'm about to break through into the pond, and the water's going to come running in where I'm standing. But see, I can stand on this now because there's about 6 inches of muck been put on either side. And I'll film that as best I can. But I wanted you to see if you can hear something. No. There. That's the shovel going into sand. And that sand is white. See that? I thought, where's that coming from? We don't have white sand here. And that, I'm almost certain, is a load of sand that when I was a little boy, or not that little a boy, when I was a teenager, say, a young teenager, that my mom and dad or my grandfather had brought here so that us cousins, there were 7 of us, we would have a little beach here. Now, it was not a good place to have a beach, but it was shallow. It was the most shallow place. And we used it for a while. I faintly remember this. But I gradually realized that it would be better to go out where the shore was a little bit rocky. And I'll get there eventually and explain about that. But anyway, so that was a memory. It's still here. Okay, I'm going to break through this. Let's see if I can do this while I'm holding the camera. I probably can't. Well, I can, but I don't know if you'll be able to see it. I don't know what you're seeing. There it comes. Once I get it broken through, you're trying to use a shovel with one hand and an elbow. It's kind of hard. I'll step out. Okay, I'll step out. Yeah, and here it comes. And once this fills from the pond, that's when I noticed after a bit that it starts to go in the other direction, because this area starts to drain where I've raised it up. I'll probably turn the camera off, give it a little bit of time, and show you what I mean. The water from the pond is flowing in because I fairly quickly removed a lot of soil and cast it up, dredged it to the right and to the left. But in a moment it'll probably start draining again, or else just sit there. So now I have 3 chinampa channels. I got to come up with a better name for that. And I've got other ones that I'm going to create, because I think this is going to work. Well, it certainly is working for a fun experiment. We'll see where it goes from here. Bye for now.